What do you think the biggest misconceptions about China in the West right now?
Is the uniformity of China. I mean, in a way, China is of course a very uniform nation, very well organized and things like that. But you just realize very, very much that from north to south, from east to west, you have a lot of different cultures. What I really enjoyed doing in the first few years is visiting all these minorities that live in different provinces, and that's really charming. Tasting the different type of foods, and I think I'm still not at the end of it.
Yeah.
So that was a big difference from what I had preconceived.
Why you decided to stay in China?
What motivated me to stay is opportunities mainly. At a younger time in my career, I really wanted to do something significant. I saw that basically China was the place to be back in the days in the early 2010 or late 2000s.
Yeah.
Lots of investments, lots of companies were flocking in, and the questions that was in being asked in pubs back in Europe or things like that is like, oh, you are not having any operations in China, you're not thinking of doing anything with China, because that was very much
big trend.
There was a big trend. And realizing how the scale of everything here, it's a company that was really it's a country that was really really boosting a lot of development. We remember, let's say, the growth, the 2-digit growth years that China had in those times. It's compared to the good old Europe, which has a lot of was very, very, very interesting size, but the dynamic was so different. The speed of things was so different. The scale of things was really different. And I think I said, okay, well, there is definitely some opportunities to take.
In Europe, it's slow, here is fast.
Yeah.
What are the biggest differences, you think, how people live or how people work, or how the country functions?
I think there is the whole thing of central planning. It's a one political system. There are, of course, other parties that are consulted, in a great whole of the people. But it's a system that basically can help to get momentum, and there is also the long-term planning. In modern days democracies, we must say that political systems are what they are. They basically can bring different parties into power. That shift, over sometimes every 4 years, every 10 years, because there is a bit of a shift. China, for that, has been a lot more stable in a way that they wanted to move forward. The long-term planning over literally generations is something that is really important for the Chinese. So that's the way that there is very much a direction on the long term. A vision on the long term is one thing. I think there is also a bit of the mentality of the people. As a matter of fact, they came from a very, very difficult century in the past.
Yeah.
And there is this mentality of catching up, of honor. Basically showing that China in the past was a very great nation. They had a little bit their tough time, the tough period.
Yeah.
But the pride of the Chinese people is still very much in them, even if they are not very exuberant about it. I mean, they have this aspiration of basically raising their country to the next level. So a lot of that is in the people. The working culture is also quite different. So sometimes it's a little bit excessive these days. We know that especially the younger generation would not be a big fan of the 996 kind of mentality, if not more like the 997.
And it's because I also have a team, and it's you don't push hard the people in their 20s.
Exactly. So I would say in general, especially in big cities like this, I mean, the concentration of young people and people that came into these cities, if not city clusters, like here in South China, is enormous. I mean, it's hundreds of millions of people that move into one place for the goal of making a career.
Yeah.
Making a bit extra money compared to the countryside or farming the land. So that in essence is already going into a factory as an assembly worker. I was kind of very surprised in my first years to hear that, well, the overtime for an employee is primordial, is very important. If there is no overtime, they would not take the job. While in certain economies, in developed economies, the comfort of living is much higher. There is a lot of benefits that are provided by the government. There is a lot of protectionism around the labor, and that is that basically creates a different dynamic.
Yeah, very interesting. Like you also mentioned the scale.
Yeah.
Like I was having a trip yesterday from Guangzhou to Shenzhen, by car to Shenzhen, and then back by train. Like going by car is like, it's everything is enormous. Yeah. It's insanely. It's like huge Guangzhou, and then it's becoming like some industrial site, some.
Exactly. You go basically.
And it's just a small part of China.
Exactly.
It's like wow.
It's one of the most interesting area in China. I mean, like you have. Like the Yangtze River Delta, you have the Chongqing-Chengdu corridor, you have the Greater Bay Area here.
Yeah.
These are big industrial clusters, and there are some others as well. And this one is particularly like open on the world. Like it started, like from the perspective of Hong Kong, a city, like the Asia capital city, and from there basically like when you travel between these 9 cities that you have on the side of China mainland, and your example is very good, because from Guangzhou to Shenzhen, that's if you take the old highway, you don't see a single field. It's just like leaving the city, going from industrial zones to industrial zones, factories. You go through Dongguan, which is a big manufacturing center, and then you end up into the ultra-modern city of Shenzhen. And that's not like 20 kilometers. We are talking about 100 kilometers, if not more, 120 kilometers from city to city. And that's the scale, the size that a lot of people, struggle to understand.